Um, excuse me. Excuse me, Mr. Bullfrog? Uh, was wondering if you've seen Lucky, the green tree frog? He's small and green.
Vacation.
He's on vacation?
Vacation.
Well, I guess that answers that. Hey everyone, welcome back to My Green Pets. We're going to start out today looking at this beautiful pink slipper orchid. This is Paph Annabellchen. And the top bloom has been open for a couple weeks now, and now the second bloom is starting to open. So when both of those are fully open, that plant's going to be even more beautiful than it already is. In another room of the house, we've got a miniature Phalaenopsis. This one's also been open for several weeks, and it does have a very, very slight fragrance, but it's not particularly strong, and so I really can't tell what it is. And this is beautiful. The Japanese wind orchid Vanda falcata has finally bloomed. Both of the blooms are open, and it's just the most charming little flower. You see that long spur that comes off the flower? This is a fragrant flower, but it's fragrant in the evenings because it attracts moths, and moths are able to get at the nectar that's at the bottom of that spur. Just really charming little plants. We've been watching this bromeliad for the past few weeks, pushing up. It's bract, and we're starting to see some really nice color coming out on that. And the best is yet to come. There's lots of little blue flowers that are going to pop out of it, maybe next week, the week after. And then this bract itself will stay there for several months. Also, these bush lilies, the Clivia miniata, these, I didn't expect this, but the smaller one is actually pushing up some flowers now. So within a month or so, we'll be seeing those beautiful bright orange flowers again. These moth orchids, these Phalaenopsis hybrids, have been in bloom for several months, some of them since February, and here we are now in July. So some of them are beginning to fade, and so what generally happens is that when the flowers on my orchids fade, I like to keep them indoors when they're in bloom, but when they start fading, I like to take the plants outside, because when you take them outside, the warmth and the rain and the humidity and everything is really great for them. So this pink one that we've just seen in the sunroom has been moved outside with some of its other Phalaenopsis friends. I wanted to say thank you to a viewer who wished to remain anonymous for donating a new microphone to this channel. So if you're enjoying a less fuzzy voiceover, you have this person to thank. Thank you so much. I've really been working on the titles this week. You'll notice that instead of just the name of the plant, I've tried to put a common name and the actual scientific name, and then the actual place that the plant comes from. So suddenly my collection seems a lot more exotic because you've got plants from Central America and South America and Southeast Asia. So it's like going around the zoo. This is a beautiful plant, as you've seen in the winter time. It puts out lots of blooms, and it's going to have a lot of spikes this winter. I just know it. I hope, anyway. These are my Cattleya babies. These are my King Cattleya seedlings. These are the larger set. There were some smaller ones as well. It's just really amazing to see the variety that you get in a flask of seedlings. Some of them are very fast growers, some of them slower, and there's all kinds of variety even in one flask. This is the coconut orchid that has been just blooming continuously since mid-May or so. And the flowers, the older flowers take on kind of a yellowish tinge, but they keep their fragrance. And just being within a few feet of this plant, you can smell the coconut fragrance coming off those beautiful flowers. Okay, let's go over and visit the Bulbophyllum, or the Bulbophyllums. These are some of the most unusual orchids that I have, and definitely some of my favorites. This is the Medusa species, and it's got all kinds of new growths coming up. As you can see, those leaves kind of poking out there. And if the plant gets enough light and gets enough fertilizer and is strong enough, each one of those new growths will bloom in the fall, November, December, somewhere around there, and those are really spectacular. This is the Rufous Bulbophyllum, and it is also pushing out some new growth, not quite as much as the Medusae, but this was a cutting that actually Marilyn at Windy Hill Orchids just kind of gave me with one of my orders. Some of you that order orchids know that sometimes growers will just give you free plants, which is awesome. This is a hybrid, Lovely Elizabeth. It has not bloomed for me yet. I just got it a couple years ago as a small division. But as you can see, new growths have been coming out. It's had 3 since I've gotten it, and we'll be looking for those. The flowers should be similar to the Elizabeth Ann Buckleberry. And this one is starting to be a real pain because there's an ongoing thread about this plant over on the orchid board, and we're trying to figure out what we have to do to get this thing to bloom. The echinolabium. Now over to the Paph, the tropical slipper orchids, where these are some of my favorite plants in general. I know people that only grow slipper orchids. It's kind of a niche of the orchid growing community. But anyway, this Paph prime child has pushed up a bud, and that's just been a complete surprise. I did not expect this plant to bloom this year. But I'm really excited for it. The flowers are enormous. They're like 20 centimeters across, and I just can't wait. It's really, really an amazing flower. Now this is Paph villosum, but we're not looking at the plant here. We're looking at something that I'm sure many of you orchid growers have seen before. This is the infamous bush snail. And if you grow orchids, I guarantee you have got these somewhere in your collection. They are notorious for chewing on orchid roots. Alright, let's finish our tour this week with the Vanda tree. I've got 4 Vandas hanging out here. Some of them more what you would call normal sized, and then one gargantuan plant. These 2 here, one of them has bloomed, the large one has bloomed. The smaller ones I got as seedling bag babies at a Home Depot, believe it or not. And they were only like $9 a piece, so I said, well, I can wait a couple years till these things bloom. This is Pachara Delight. This is a very, very, very large Vanda. This is an example of what will happen if you give your plant lots of light, lots of fertilizer, and kelp fertilizer as well to encourage root growth. Over the course of about 15 years or so, you can get a plant about that big. This one's got 8 spikes at the moment, and it could be pushing out more at any time. Just want you to look here at the roots. There are roots everywhere. This thing just continuously produces roots. And some of them, the ones that come directly from the base of the plant, are enormous. They're as big as my finger. I often joke, this plant was in a wooden basket years ago, but I often joke that it has eaten the basket. Like there's no basket left anymore. It's just eaten it. Anyway, thanks guys so much for joining me. That's all for this week, and we'll see you next time right here on My Green Pets. Thanks.